What's up, guys? It's your boys Wookie back out with some more of the Chris Watts videos that hopefully one day we will find this evidence being useful in some shape or form to possibly help in closing this complete case, because there are a lot of us, including myself, that think this case is far from over because of NK's involvement. But the big thing that's the discrepancy was Survey 319 the actual place that was going to be the final resting place for Shanann, Bella, Celeste, or CeCe. Why Survey 319? What significance does this have? There's rumors and theories, again, not of my own, but again, for educational and entertainment purposes, we're looking into it as just something to brainstorm in a possible connection, whatever have you. There's been a discrepancy about there could have been in a different part of the neighborhood. Could have been somewhere else. I don't know, but there's rumors in the speculations that CeCe was being tried to be, or it wasn't. Chris Watts tried to hide Celeste down the basement. We don't know that this is true. We don't know if this, whatever have you, but it's something to think about. But for my thoughts is I think it was completely always going to be Survey 319. And I'm going to tell you why compared to the other forms of theories that have been put out there. Again, I'm not discrediting anybody or so forth because, again, I'm not a professional. I'm not a trained professional. I'm just putting out there with what I think I know. And then I would just like to see if other people agree with me or disagree. And that's all we have to do. So, before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. And you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you guys so very much for the continued love and support that you guys show on this channel every single day. You truly are amazing supporters and fans, friends, and pretty much you guys are my family, and I thank you guys so very much. Also, we're going to be taking a look at a few clip bits or snip bits from Michelle After Dark. Again, a great YouTube channel. I watch this woman on the daily basis of all things that she does, not just the Chris Watts case, but she does when it comes to vast majority of different cases. And I definitely watch her throughout the night. So make sure you guys go over to her channel, do the thing, subscribe, comment, like, and share. This woman is on her way to 100K, and I'd love to see another channel hit that mark. So, link is in the description. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now, before we go any further, obviously, our big discrepancy is up in the air. It's about Survey 319. Survey 319 was off the beaten path of his home. Would have been a lot harder for people to find. It was what I think he stated it was about 45 minutes to about an hour to drive out there, depending on your speed, obviously. But obviously, not a lot of people are going to go out there. Plus, the gate was closed. It had trespassing sign or no trespassing signs, so it was more likely for him to be out there and to disposing said family members because no one would have found him. But there was led to believe that Survey 319, or it's not led to believe, it's actually in the Anadarko paperwork, which I can show you guys later on, that Survey 319 was dated for decommission. It was getting to be a dried up area. Its destruction or its teardown date was going to be in September. Now, it did get pushed off until December of that year. Apparently, there's people of YouTubers that have go out there and try to find this location. They can't find it. They find other oil sites where Anadarko used to be, but this site is no longer in existence. Now, do we know that for 100% certainty? A lot of people have come forward and told me this. Again, I can't credit 100% certainty because I myself wasn't physically there, nor will I ever go. But the reason why this would have been a more substantial reason why that the Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico were laid to rest here temporarily because they're now in North Carolina, resting peacefully at their gravesite. But they were put here because Chris didn't realize that he was going to be founded out so fast. He thought he had time. He thought he was going to be invincible because he found the best spot. The girls were in the containers separately from away from their mother because he was pissed off with Shanann and separated the girls from his mother or their mother. So that's why Shanann was buried in a shallow grave and the girls were submerged into battery oil tanks. We don't know an exact answer why he put the girls in the tanks. All he says was he wanted to separate them from their mother. How stupid. Because the unfortunate and grotesque and monstrous that this Chris man was is when the girls were being taken away from the batteries, which again, I can't fathom what these firefighters and officers had to do when they pulled these little girls from the batteries, is their skin was degloving from their bodies. Like they were, I'm not even going to get into it because it gives me chills. But this man literally stayed at his friend's house across the bedroom of their little one, knowing this man knew exactly where his little ones and wife were, pretty much showed no emotions. His girls floated and submerged and sunk to the bottom of those tanks in oil, gasoline, whatever was in those tanks. He said it was a mixture of all things in there. But why did he put them in tanks? Well, I can tell you this for certainty. Again, for my thoughts and inquiries, we can't state it's factual because we don't know factual because he didn't say why he put them at Cervi 319. Besides, he just wanted to separate them. There's also rumors out there that NK decided that she wanted to have them put out there. Again, we can't say with 100% certainty, and that's why I say that in every single video that I have, because I can't state factual that this is what happened. But this man was loading his truck with also gas cans, which are combustible, ignitable, explosive. Oil is very highly flammable and explosive. There was rumors out there that they were going to tend to take out the white Lexus out there, as Nicole was going to be a diversion to go out there, make it look like Shanann came out there, caught them in the act, and was going to explode and destroy Cervi 319 since it was already stated and ready for decommission. Because he was planning all of this. It was going to happen. There was a leak at this location around that well that we've seen. I couldn't find the picture, but there was a leak that he said to his teammates that he was going to go look at on Friday, which Monday is when he actually took that look at there. Which Nicole asked, why are you going out to the Cervi 319? So suddenly, he said there was a leak and he sent her a picture as well. Is this something that could have been just actually real? There was a leak. Or is this something to stage and build up a momentum for a possible different story that Chris could have had for this murder? But because Nicole Atkinson sprung into action, knew something was wrong because of her best friend, she was the one that led police to the house. There's a discrepancy up in the air. Who actually called the police? If it was Lauren Ann, one of Shannon's best friends from school, or if it was actually Nicole Atkinson. Honestly, the sickening part of it is we probably will never know. Because Chris will not open his mouth. He says there are things that he will completely take to his grave, especially with the oxycodone that he got from somebody. We still don't know. So, with that being said, that's what I love to believe, that Cervi 319 was going to be the site. It just didn't end the ending that he wanted. Now, with Michelle After Dark, I guarantee this is not what she says because it is from Cheryln Cadle. Again, I'm not discrediting Cheryln Cadle. This is what she was told by Chris Watts and possibly has brought together as well, is that Chris Watts was hiding CeCe in the basement. Is that the reason why the dogs might have alerted quite a bit in the basement rather than upstairs and so forth? The dogs did alert here and there upstairs. They didn't alert very much throughout the middle of the home. But the significant part of the alerting was in the basement. The cadaver dog was there, which obviously was looking for deceased remains, and the other dog was trained for traumatic events or traumatic situations, sweat, urine, whatever have you. Again, I'm not stating I know what what this is. I'm just bringing some of the stuff that I've seen and read and listened to you guys to bring up your own hypothesis, your theories, your ideas, and so forth. Because that's why this case is so big. Is because there's so many questions that have gone unanswered. So, with that being said, let's take a look at what could have been that CeCe and possibly the others were taken out in the basement instead and was going to go a different route than Cervi 319. Let's take a look.
Here with another video. I hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well.
The prospect of Chris Watts applying for a 35C to get his case reviewed,
he tried to get out,
has inspired a lot of live streams recently, a lot of interviews with people that have either been writing to Chris or have been speaking to Chris. And in this,
I thought about writing to Chris, but I guarantee he would have gotten it and thrown it away, because that's what he said, and that he mostly gets letters and throws them away.
Video, I want to explore some of that. But first, I just want to say to people who think the case is closed and that this is history, Chris's case is closed, but he's applying for a case review. So he wants his case reopening, in effect.
He's never going to get it.
Now, last night I watched a live stream between Unmurdered, or Heather, and Cheryln Cadle. And both of those people have been disbelieved. The opposite side, those that are trying to apply for the 35C, don't want to hear what people like them have got to say. But I believe that Heather is genuine. And I also believe that Cheryln...
Why aren't people allowed to have a voice? Like, let them talk. Yeah, it may be negative, it may be positive. People are negative about me, and I'm to the point where I just don't give a crap. So if these people have an opinion, let them talk.
Cadle is as well. I go through the letters that she's put in her book, the letters from Chris. So you can't deny that these letters are genuine. You can't deny that Cheryln had communication with Chris. Now, some of what she's put in her book is her opinion, and she makes it clear that it is. So in the interview, the stream that I watched between Heather and Cheryln last night, not last night my time as I'm recording this, I was very interested but also really disturbed about some of the things that Cheryln said that Chris had told her. It's disturbing, but I'm not surprised by it, and in this video I want to discuss those. So there is a warning here that what I'm going to discuss is disturbing, because I'm going to be talking about the death of the girls. Make your decision as to whether you want to carry on with this video or not, and I will leave a link to the live stream between Heather and Cheryln.
If you guys don't want to watch this, I definitely understand. But of all places, why that place?
Something's upsetting out here.
Sorry about the dogs, guys.
For me, listening to the live stream last night, two things that Cheryln said disturbed me the most. One of them was something that I'd never heard anyone say before. I've never heard Cheryln say it before, but it makes sense. On the 14th of August, when the dog search occurred...
I'm wondering if it has to do with the refrigerator, because there was mentioning that Chris might have tried to put Celeste in the refrigerator, but that doesn't make sense of why he would do that.
...through the house. One of the dogs was going mad, alerting, very clearly alerting in the basement. I've asked before in a previous video, why was that basement not forensically tested? That dog was going mad, alerting. They knew the dog was upset. They didn't investigate further. But Cheryln has said something really, really horrible. We know the confession at Wisconsin was expanded upon a little bit when Chris talked to Cheryln through letters and through prison visits. And that was he tried to kill the girls before he
one
left
time.
instead of smothering them at the oil site, which is what he eventually did. But he tried to kill them before he left. But they woke back up. But it's what he said to Cheryln. So this is what Cheryln said last night. CeCe is possibly the thing that the dog was alerting to in the basement. At the Wisconsin interview, agents Tammy Lee and Graham Corder asked Chris specifically about what was going on in the basement. The sensors in the house indicated activity in the basement. A lot of steps. The basement door was left open. Have a listen to what Chris said about the basement.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So
I do know also that when they first went into the home, when Chris came around through the garage and opened up the door, front door, it did take him a little bit. I wonder if he was kind of checking things out. Then when the police officers went in the house after he had gone in, he went straight to the basement. Why?
there was a lot of movement. I think it was around 4:26 or something. And the garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time? Other than
You had a lot of
going in and out the
steps.
garage.
I'll just say that.
Okay. So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout, the bench press and whatnot.
Do you remember going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No.
I wasn't at your house. Okay.
No, it's like a garden level basement. So
Okay.
But no, I don't remember really. I don't think I worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
do all that normal
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I packed the lunch and everything.
So let me get this right. He packed his lunch, and his deceased wife was just upstairs, and he packed a lunch.
Did all that. I don't remember about the basements.
Sounds like he's trying not to talk
Unless I
about
just
it.
worked out that morning. I just don't remember. I don't think I did.
So one of the more
Unless there was a trash bag down there.
Yeah, you got trash bags in there.
Maybe there wasn't any in the garage. I went down there and got one.
Maybe this, maybe that.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
So there was a roll in your truck.
There was?
Yeah.
Maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me then.
So that was very vague. Maybe I worked out then.
Maybe.
I went down to the basement. Maybe
Sticking
I
around
left
on
the
the
door
question.
open. Maybe I went down for trash bags. Apparently, what he told Cheryln was something really different and really alarming. In that he took CeCe down to the basement. He thought she was dead, tried to put her in the fridge,
Why?
which could have been why the dog was alerting there to CeCe's scent. He couldn't get her in the fridge, so he either tried to put her in a tote or a tub, and then she woke up. So she woke up
Got out of
in
the
the
tub?
basement. Well, that makes sense for why the dog was alerting there. It's terrifying to think about what that little girl was experiencing. Cheryln believes that she was brain damaged, but she was able to walk out to the truck, and then Chris suffocated her at the oil site. Bella also woke back up. Bella was more alert, and Cheryln has doubled
See,
down.
what I want to know is why not this area? Because if you look at this right here, why not this one out here? Why was it this one? Was this one getting ready to be decommissioned too, or was it this one because it had a leak? So they wanted to make it look like an accident. I'm I feel like there's something here, but we just can't find the right pieces to put together.
And said again, she said this on Armchair Detectives channel, but she didn't put it in the book. She didn't put it in the new book because he hadn't written it in a letter, and she wasn't sure whether it was appropriate to give this level of detail, like all at once, or whether people should be protected from certain things. But she said last night, she was asked a question, and she said, now this possibly was just her opinion. She was asked whether she believed Bella was dead, actually dead, when she was put into the oil tank. Well, we know she didn't breathe because there was no oil in her lungs. If she was breathing, then there would have been oil in her lungs. But she could have been
just looking at this. Apparently, when they were looking around they were doing the drone while they were interrogating Chris because they didn't know exactly where Shanann was or the girls were. They just possibly knew that it might have been Cervi 319. But why didn't they do castings of different footprints around here? Because they did state that there was different footprints around this area. So again, why are we not putting those square things down and putting the concrete or plaster in there, taking those shoes, comparing it to this person, comparing it to that person? Like, why wasn't that done?
Dead. So what I mean is not breathing anymore, but still not quite dead. There's that small window of time when you stop breathing before your brain actually dies. It terrifies me to think that Bella walked up to the top of those tanks herself.
She did that.
With Chris carrying CeCe dead and Bella actually walking up, and then him killing her at the top. I swing backwards and forwards. I don't want that to be true. I feel that it might be. But Cheryln said that she wasn't sure whether actually the final death came when he tried to get her in. You know, if you think about an 8-inch diameter hole and how a 4-year-old child would fit through that hole.
He literally said he took her by the hands and then put him over in the hole and then just dropped him in. That ain't no father. That's a monster.
And some of the things that have been sealed are about
But why
the girls.
is it sealed?
You know, we
it's
can
like
only
sealed
imagine.
for 50 years.
It's absolutely horrifying. And it's understandable.
We're all going to be dead and gone before we can even
Chris
see that.
Wouldn't want to even voice those kind of things. You know, he has said there are things that he did that he will take to his grave. And perhaps just the horror of even thinking back about what he did to his own daughters are some of the things that haunt him now and that are leaking out little bit by little bit, but which he will truly take to his grave. Horrifying details. But Chris is where he belongs and he should never, never get out.
But Nicole should be where she belongs, but she's not where she belongs. So the big question is, again, why did the dogs alert so much down in the basement? The cadaver dog, which I do believe is the one that looks for deceased individuals, decay, rot, never alerted anywhere. You didn't really see that dog do anything besides it was looking around. The other dog barking like crazy, which was the one that was barking because of the smells of scare, worry, threatening, and so forth. Why was it alerting so much downstairs in the basement? We did see the dog alert a few times in the girls' room. There was a book underneath the bed, so maybe Chris and Shanann were fighting, and the girls heard it and wanted to get away from it, so they went underneath the bed and kind of were reading books to soothe themselves. It's just, and then you don't see the dogs do anything up in the middle part. They just kind of looked around, didn't really, they went to the closet, her office area, didn't really alert there. So again, was Cervi 319 the actual complete plan? Was it something else? But why was it Survey 319? Why not a different area? Was it because they were going to make it look like an accident? Get some insurance money from losing their loved ones? Anadarko would have gotten some insurance money as well because they definitely went under. Anadarko doesn't exist anymore that I know of. So there's something here. We just can't find the puzzle pieces to put it all together. It's like an unfinished puzzle. We have the pieces. We have somewhat of an image, but there's missing pieces out of this puzzle. That's what I'm led to believe. And I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Was Survey 319 the actual design plan where it was going to look like an accident, or was it going to be something else, and then Survey 319 became the secondary, the plan B? Do you feel that there's something here, or am I just crazy? Some of you trolls might be saying I'm crazy. Some of you might actually agree. I still want to know what you guys think. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please take care, be safe, keep nerding on, and don't forget to subscribe on both channels, myself and Michelle After Dark, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So keep it real.